Hello everyone, my name is Muhammad Irfan and this video is brought to you by Mavio. Follow us on social media and let's connect and build together. So today we will be looking into spatial data formats and CRS or coordinate referencing systems. These are the technical foundations of geographic information systems and public health analysis. We use these spatial data formats to project our health data into maps and visualize our data for better understanding of the trends and analysis and extracting useful insights in health data. So let's get into it. We use three types of vector data models, mainly points, lines, and polygons. So point data, as the name suggests, it's basically an XY coordinate on a discrete location, and it's used for things like hospitals, patient cases, or clinical sites. So these are points that are shown on a map using XY coordinates of those locations. And then we have the line data. These are ordered sets of points, and these are essential for road networks and travel time calculation, etc. And then we have the polygon data, which are enclosed areas and they define an administrative boundary, could be a zip code or a census tract, for example, a county or a country or a state, etc. So these are shown via polygon data. Then we have the raster data, which is a grid-based health analysis. So for that, we use continuous surfaces where every cell is a pixel that represents a measured value across that space. So the architecture is basically resolution defined by a cell size. For example, it could be a 30 meter by 30 meter, and that pixel will represent a color or mostly a color which is represents a measured value across that 30 meter by 30 meter space. So when we zoom out, it is a uniform map and it is not a pixelated but instead a very uniform smooth map, and it shows us the trends, and it could be in anything. For example, this map shows us trends in smoke exposure across the United States. So these are basically, this uses the grid architecture, and its applications include air quality index visualization, visualizing land temperatures or population density, etc. And implementation. So we can overlay a particular meter 2.5 raster with asthma patient point data. So we can have asthma patients points data. These could be used as points, and then the particular matter 2.5, which is matter that is present in the atmosphere with a diameter less than 2.5 millimeter. So we can project them to show the trend on how they relate and how they correlate. So these are the applications of the grid-based health analysis, and this is how we do it. Okay, let's move on to some file formats. Standard spatial file formats, the most commonly used ones are Shapefile, which are not just one file, but they are collection of at least three files: .shp, .shx, and .dbf. So this is the industry standard for vector data, and it is widely used across different sectors. Then we have the GeoJSON, which is a lightweight and it's a modern. It's compatible with many modern programming languages, and it is ideal for web maps, for cloud storage, and for programmatic access. So this is a more modern and a lightweight JSON-based format. Next, the coordinates referencing systems. So the challenge that we face is a geometric challenge, because we know that the Earth is an ellipsoid, 3D, but most of the maps are flat, 2D. So projections involve mathematical unrolling, which creates distortion in distance, area, and shape, because the 2D map that we see on the Earth is not like that. So it causes many distortions by unrolling, by these mathematical unrolling. These distortions could be in distance, which is crucial for clinical accessibility. This could be an area which is also critical for prevalence per square kilometer, and shape is importance for visual context. So these are the challenges that we face, and to tackle these challenges, we use some common map projections according to our case study and according to our scenario. The geographic, this is the global GPS coordinates, and we use degrees for this. And This is the projected one, the 2D web marketer. The use case includes Google Maps, web mapping, etc. But the problem with this projected one is that it has lots of distance distortions, because we can see in the marketer projection that is almost the same size as Greenland, which is not actually the case. Africa is much better than Greenland, and many countries in the global south are shown very small, so there is a big distance distortion in this marketer projection. Then we have the local UTM zones. Mostly when we analyze data state-wise or something like that, we use the local system, and the use case is local accurate distance measuring in meters. So we'll see how this works, but these are the common map projections. Then spatial joins linking health to geography. So we have looked into how we can divide areas, we can visualize areas, but how do we link the health data to it? So we use spatial joins for it, attaching data from one layer to another based on spatial overlap. For example, point in a polygon could be a state or a county, and a point could be a hospital or a clinical facility, a patient. Then we have the public health use case is joining patient records to district boundaries. So points in polygons, this is the use case. And the result is aggregated data allowing for incidence rate calculation per district. So this is the logic we use. It's called spatial joins, and we link health to geography through this. One of the application is buffering and proximity analysis, in which we calculate the catchment area of health services. For example, we use 5 kilometer radial zones around clinics, and we do the network analysis, which is a real world travel distance via roads, and we calculate the distance using Euclidean formula. So, for example, this is a clinical facility. We can make a boundary, a 5 kilometer boundary, a buffering zone, and then we can analyze how many patients are around these areas, and we can do the proximity analysis through this. We can also do the hotspot analysis through kernel density. So kernel density estimation transforms sparse patient points into a continuous heat map. So instead of using points in on the map, we can use these sparse patient points into a continuous heat map, and the intensity of that heat map would show us the intensity or the amount of patients in that area. And this is important because it finds intense pockets, administrative lines might split, and it de-identifies patients' data through spatial smoothing. So, and there is the de-identification filter as well. And then we have the implementation tool. One of the most famous open source software for spatial health analysis is the QGIS, and we can use this software for CRS harmonization, on the fly projection of layer, multi-format, connects directly to PostgreSQL, Postgres, and visualization. It print layouts or policy briefs. So it's a drag and drop application. It's an open source application through which we can do the projection, and we can connect it to our PostgreSQL or Postgres database to analyze our data. Then we have the programmatic, is that there are many R packages through which we can analyze the data and project our data onto those maps, like sample feature library in R, Terra library in R, and the TMap library in R. So these are the libraries. This is the standard for vector data, handles spatial data as clear data frames. And Terra is a high performance manipulation for raster data for grid architecture and large spatial models. And then we have the ggplot2 for maps and creating interactive health visualizations. So in summary, the spatial workflow starts from data acquisition, gathering clinical CSVs in the shape files. This is the data that we will project. And then we clean that data, geocoding addresses to XY coordinates and XY points, and then projecting these layers to a local CRS, and then spatial joints and buffer metrics, and then it will give us a visualization that we can further analyze, and we can see the trends in that area. So the result is a clean projected data set ready for policy-driven insights. So this was all, and now let's look into how we can implement this in Python. Until now, we have covered the theory of spatial data formats and how we can project data into the CRS and show buffering and proximity analysis and all these things. So this is an implementation. I have done a geospatial analysis and it is designed to assess healthcare accessibility across state of Georgia. So I've taken the state of Georgia, all its count. We will gather the data of all its counties, and it utilizes Python libraries to identify healthcare hotspots and deserts by analyzing the distribution of health facilities relative to the county boundaries. So we will treat these health facilities as our points, and our county boundaries as the polygons. So this will be a point on polygon kind of implementation and analysis, and the result would be it will show us the health hotspots and deserts where there are less health facilities per the number of patients or the number of people. So let's get into how it can be done. So for geospatial analysis, we use a special library called GeoPandas, and we also use geocoders and matplotlib obviously for visualization. So this is the URL. Here the data of all counties in the United States is in a zip file. We download that zip file of all the counties in the United States. We download that file and store the data of all counties in a GPD file called all counties. So next thing, because we are only targeting Georgia counties, we filter out the counties to, let's see, we filter out the counties where the state AP code is 13. This is the Georgia code. So this will filter out only the Georgian counties for us. Then for the health facilities and clinical facilities in Georgia, we will use this overpass API to extract all the, not all, but the facilities which are shown on Google Maps and overpass API. So we are fetching all the clinics and hospitals in Georgia from OpenStreetMap. So through this, we have found 316 health sites across Georgia. Since this is not the official number of health sites, it is only the one available, the one we could fetch from OpenStreet API. So we store these counties projection. We project them to a CRS with the EPSG code of 32616. This is for Northern Hemisphere. And we also project the clinics to CRS, and we create a 10-kilometer catchment area for all 500 plus sites. So this is our buffer zone kind of our catchment area. And then we join the clinics projections and the counties projection to for our further analysis. We aggregate count the number of clinics per county to identify hotspots, and after that we plot the whole thing. And this is our statewide healthcare accessibility, identifying hotspots and health deserts in Georgia. So as we can see from this map, it shows that here in this urban area, this is Atlanta urban area. So this is a hotspot. There are so many clinics for the number of people. But if we go outside, these are the counties with very little clinical facilities or hospitals for the same amount of people. So this is the bar that shows the number of health facilities within 10 kilometers. So in these hotspots, the number of health facilities within 10 kilometers is more than 120, while in some areas it is less than 20.